Today, I'm going to perform a post review. And basically, those are random things that you may see people posting online that look like lists, and they try to give you ideas or be inspiring, motivational. I found 8 productive things to do when you are bored. And the first thing that's wrong with this shit is that this isn't 80, this is 60. Learn how to count. Anyway, I'm going to run down this list and I am going to comment on the idea. Take it from there. The first one is clean your car. What's funny is that this morning I cleaned my car on the outside. I need to figure out a solution for how to vacuum without having to use the timed paid one you gotta use, and I'm trying to avoid a membership for the car wash. But anyway, nothing more painful than I spend 40 minutes cleaning that thing on the outside, and as I was drying it, I could see the dust from pollen settling on the surface of my car. Which, I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I could anticipate it. I'm not blind. I see the pollen. The pollen is so thick this year that even on the road, I see it. I see it on my tires. I cannot say I had seen it this bad before. And I was telling someone that my personal theory is that trees may have their own way to communicate. There's been a lot of deforestation around here to build God knows what. I'm thinking that they realize they're stressed, and in the midst of that distress, they're over pollinating in an effort to bring back their numbers. And if that's the case, that is the saddest fucking thing. It's kind of like, imagine you're the last being of your species and you're calling out your specific chirp, whatever sound you make, and no one responds back. That's gotta be how extinct creatures felt, the last of their kind. Make a new playlist. That one bothers me a little bit because I started doing that a long time ago as a teen. And I hate that I can spend about an hour making a playlist about the music I'm gonna listen to, only for me to end up not using the playlist anymore. Because for me, playlists were effective when I had all of my music in one device. But in one device, I only have like a small fraction of all my music. So technically, all of the songs I have on my phone are my playlist. But what I hate about playlists is that I overthink them and I end up wasting, like I said, a good 40 minutes setting up a playlist only for me to end up not really using it with frequency. And sometimes I can be so disassociated from my music nowadays because I have such a variety library that I dead ass do not know the name of some songs off the top of my head, let alone who the artist is. I think to this thing, don't really feel like I need to create playlists like that anymore because I can use that as a remote. To me, playlists were more useful in the past because I wanted to have music playing while I was taking a shower, but I couldn't reach my phone because it had to be plugged to the speakers, and the plug is obviously away from the bathtub. And it was just a pain sometimes to have a shit song playing. And that's when I found the utility for playlists as well as driving. I liked how I could just get on the car, play a playlist, and I really didn't find myself skipping songs as much. But I really don't like how I tend to overthink them. So it's kind of a good idea for when you're bored, but I also think that it's a waste of time. Organize your space. This is one that I'm still battling with to this day. I can say that my place looks significantly better now than it did about a year ago when mom stuff was going on. But now I like that the mess is still there, but it's smaller. It's to the point where I can actually comfortably navigate in my room. My kitchen is not negotiable. That mess is always going to be organized. Now, the living room, I have to do something about that because that's where I do my listing, and that's where I keep some other things as well that I don't exactly have neatly put together. I gotta make an effort. I'm aware that I need to make an effort about organizing things. And another thing I need to do is drop off a bag for the donations bin that I have had in my trunk since like October, maybe. Listen to a podcast. This one is pretty natural to me. I want to say that in a day, I may listen to 1 or 2 episodes. Topics I tend to tune into are politically written. I like to listen to professors talking about what things mean in political matters. I'm aware of the meaning of tariffs. I'm aware of the meaning of whatever other little things going on in government are, like federal workers being cut and stuff like that. Just because I don't bring the topic to the channel doesn't mean I'm completely aloof about it. And I like to listen to them because I know it's coming from the perspective of a teacher. They're less likely to be biased. But ultimately, everyone is going to have a degree of a bias. I honestly tune into things like that for the sake of being on top of the news, but also coming from a source that maybe doesn't have a script very heavily imposed onto you like news media would, something like that. I'll listen to an average person, or at least someone who's like a professor or something, over a big corporation news outlet any day. Update your resume. I have been thinking about that for quite some time now because I feel like I have been gathering a few skills here and there that no matter how little they are, they're still experiences that I have. And in the event I get to move on to something better, it would be nice to have my resume updated. I don't know if I'm gonna have to retype it because my computer is new. I don't remember throwing my resume on my computer. I remember I emailed my resume to myself, but out of the 7 emails I have to figure out which one it went to. And I remember back in the day, the email I used to use was my original email ever for like business related things. I know it's there somewhere, but the problem is that I never really organized it onto a folder. And I don't know about you guys, but at least as of back in the good old days when I tried to search for it, if an email doesn't have a subject or it doesn't have a body with the words that you type up in the search button, if a file has those words, it's not going to come up. I'm not going to dig through thousands of emails to dig up my resume, so I think what I'm going to do is, thankfully, this thing is updated to where it can scan documents now. If it comes down to it, I'll just take a picture of it and then send it to myself, blow it up on the computer, and tweak it from my computer. But the good thing is that because I journal a lot, it's unlikely that I would forget about skills and things like that. And if it comes down to it, I can always request for my worker file to be shown to me, and I can just read through my past evaluations and that'll show what I have achieved for that year. I don't know if management would be willing to do that. I mean, it's my profile. I know the content of it. I just need a refresher. Why the fuck would you not show me? But you know that there's always politics involved and things like that. So I don't know. I just know that I have choices. And if anything, I can always ask my managers to tell me what it is that I'm good at, and I can polish my resume in that manner. Learn a new language. That one, I feel like with social media and AI and all these translator websites, it should be inspiring for you to learn a new language, especially when you go online and you see a lot of people who are bilingual, trilingual, quadrilingual, and all the linguals capacity that you can hold. Pentalingual, at that point, you're just a polyglot, I think is the word for that. But the problem is picking something to commit to, because for a while, I don't know what the fuck happened to me some 2 years ago, but I thought that I had a chance at learning Dutch. Of course, it didn't go well. I gave up quickly. I wasn't really learning it from a structured manner. I happened to be looking at someone who had a breakdown of it online because I just wanted to compare it to other things that to me sound similar to it, like say German, possibly Danish, things like that. And I said, there is just no way that I'm going to get any of this, especially when their words can be like 16 letters long. I don't have time for that. And I just cannot imagine a life in which I can spell German accurately. Italian, I can get by with it maybe by like 35% because it's so similar to Spanish and English and Portuguese. Portuguese, I'm more confident about Portuguese. I would say I can do like a good 40% of Portuguese as long as I don't have to speak it or spell it. But if I have to listen to it, sometimes there are videos that are only available in Portuguese and they have Portuguese captions. I can understand that shit almost completely, but it's one of those Germanic languages, I think is what all of those are called, Romance languages. So, like, you're going to be able to pick up on things no matter what. Japanese, for the past year, that's been the one that I've been gravitating toward. And it's not because I stood a chance at learning it, but because I could not conceptualize how their symbols have sounds. What are their consonants? What are the phonetics to it, if that makes sense? I said, even if I don't get to write this or speak it, or understand it when it's spoken, at least I want to be able to pick up on something, just a little bit of something. And I'm happy that when I watch anime now, it's not as daunting. It's definitely like my comprehension of it is less than 1%, but I'm happy when I do pick up on a word that I know I've seen before, or when I pick up on a symbol on the screen that I understand what it is. Person. For some reason, the symbol, I think it's called kanji. I don't know if everything is kanji. I don't think it is. But anyway, it's like the symbol for person. And then if it has a dot, it can mean something like, if it's stacked, two of them, and I think if it has a dot somewhere, it's supposed to mean fire. And then if you have that but a box around it, it's supposed to mean prisoner. Like, I understand now what it means for those symbols to stand for concepts or ideas as opposed to actual words. But I'm done. I had my fix. At least I understand better about such a language more than I did before, which I knew absolutely nothing. My question was answered. I'm good. Goodbye. I don't like to learn things unless I have formal training so that I can ask questions and so that the instructor can observe me, evaluate me, and tell me my areas where I really need to work on. But if I do that on my own, I'm not a very good independent learner. I just need assistance. I rely on assistance. And every time I do an online course at work, my feedback is always a live instructor would be practical and optimal. But they don't listen to me. Go on Pinterest. Pinterest is not a place I navigate. I run into it incidentally. Like sometimes I may, this was a long time ago, years ago. If I have a piece of clothing that I never wear because I don't know what the fuck to do with it, I would go something like outfit ideas for a jean slash denim jacket. And then I would get all kinds of ideas. Or sometimes it would be something like what to wear with a blouse. I learned clothing vocabulary from doing that. But what I hate about Pinterest is that it tends to show you an over exaggerated version of what you're looking for because I guess it's trying to sell you things or impress you. And another example of that would be home decor. I curiously clicked on interior design just because a friend of mine said that she wanted to be an interior designer. And I said, okay, that shit is boring, but let me see what it's about. And I sincerely can see the artistic appeal of it, but it's just impractical. I don't like impractical. And when I look at my surroundings and my life, I don't want to spend money on that shit, especially changing it every season. I am not an aesthetics person. I got bored quickly. But when I performed searches like that, Pinterest was the thing that kept coming up. Go for a walk. I haven't been going outside for a walk after the day that I showed you guys I went outside, but at least I can say that I get on the treadmill almost every day. Now, last week I had to skip it because of my back issues, but my back is like, it's back to like 95%. I think 95% is gonna be my new 100% because even before I busted my back, I still had back pain. Create a vision board. I don't need that. Honestly, I like to use the little agenda I was telling you guys about. It's not this one, but it's a similar version of it. And whatever goal I have, whatever idea I have, thought to do thing, I just jot it there. I keep it simple. I don't need to see this map with pictures, with strings, with tacks going from one point to another, or being like, this is the daddy goal that I have, and then I have the baby goals that are going to lead me there. No, 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 no. I'm a very simple and basic person. I don't need all that. Journal, that is something that I have to work on. I still haven't made it to physically handwriting on my journal like I used to since whenever the last time I told you guys I did that was. And that upsets me a little bit because there's been a lot of micro changes going on in my life that I could have journaled about, but I'm also grateful because I want to not depend so much on my journal as my way to vent anymore. And I honestly enjoy making videos better because I get to observe myself, how I'm speaking, as opposed to looking at my writing on pages and quietly in my mind, I can hear how I sound like. I can actually record my actual external appearance and sound and mood, capture it live as it's happening, and I think that is a upgrade from journaling. But I do not want to lose the skill of writing, and every time I go back to writing, my handwriting looks like crap. Learn about finances. This one is one of those topics that triggers me a little bit. I have been learning little things like Roth IRAs and 401ks and investing and all that shit. And sometimes I think about, as crappy as my health is, I don't really think I have much of a future to worry about. So I'm thinking when it comes to investing, the problem is that everything seems to have a damn penalty. Like, say, my 401k, if I were to withdraw a couple $100 from that, I have to pay it back and it's gonna have a penalty and it's gonna get taxed God knows in what way. So I'm thinking if I ever get to find out the news of about how much longer I got to live, I'm going to withdraw that shit and I'm going to like space it out for as long as I have to live, and I'm going to splurge and spoil myself and do everything I didn't get to do with that money because it's my money. I won't get to enjoy it. So you better believe I'm going to spend it while I'm still here. And whenever I pass, I don't know who's gonna take over the fees. Not going to leave any beneficiaries, so hopefully it just falls on the fucking government or whoever it has to fall on. But that just bothers me. Like, wait until 67. As young as people are dying nowadays or getting super sick, the new age should be 40 for you to touch that money. I also hate that about savings accounts. Legally, if you overdraw by so many times, we have to close it. Or if you withdraw so many times, we're going to charge you for accessing your money too soon or too much of it. Like, no, 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 no. Money that is available for me to use immediately is more useful to me than future money because the future to me is not fucking guaranteed. So the more I learn about finances, the more triggered I get because this is assuming that you're going to have a normal life, aging process. Like your future is guaranteed to you. I would rather at least have the tool now, have the money in my account now than aggressively investing it because all that shit takes time, and time is not exactly something I feel I have. I would rather be able to just continue to live within my means or as below them as possible, and that way I don't have to worry about whether I have enough money for retirement. I don't think I'm going to make it for retirement age. I've just accepted that. And I'm not going to like deprive myself any further from living like I already do in the name of being fearful for the future. I just accepted that I'm not gonna get very far. At least I'm grateful that I understand more about finances now than I did, say, 5 years ago. But the more I learn about it, the more I think, man, people are just fucking stupid. They like to complicate things, they like to make banking difficult. Banking is supposed to be boring as fuck, but somehow we find a way to elevate its complexity. And like I've said before, I sincerely do not want to mess with that. And if it's not information that I received earlier on to at least give me like an extra 10 to 15 years of a heads up, I'm not interested in it now. I'm just not. My bills are getting paid. I'm eating. I'm having a roof. My car is still running. I'm good. I'm fine. Read a book. That is definitely a good recommendation. And I've been thinking about it, how I want to visit the library and gravitate toward a topic, pick a book, and commit to reading it. Hasn't happened yet, but I intend to get that done at least within the next year or two. I definitely don't want to make it to 2030 not having read a book. The last book I read wasn't like 16, 17? I don't even remember. Paint or draw? I definitely need to try to get back to drawing because I was doing that back in 2018 and I was getting a little good. And I have like 4 sketchbooks, but I don't know. Something about drawing is dreadful. Maybe if I were recording myself drawing like I did that one time, recording myself while journaling, maybe that'll help me be inspired, observing myself and how relaxed I look or how frustrated I look by how I can't draw for shit. But now my attitude is better now. Whereas when I was younger, I used to get frustrated easily because I thought that on my first try everything had to be perfect. Now it's I don't care. I tried and something came out and okay, fine, good enough. And with art for me is not beneficial because if I were to draw something, what the fuck am I gonna do with it? Am I just gonna put it in like a drawer, let it collect dust? I'm not gonna use it as room decor. I'm not gonna sell it. What should I do with it? I just feel like it's wasteful. But I also understand the benefit of it for your mind and also your fine manipulation skills. We'll see what happens with drawing. Practice gratitude. I practice gratitude every day, and we've talked about that before. But it's something super easy, super basic, and I think it's something that more people should practice, whether the setting is professional or informal, and you'll see how your day is going to be a whole lot better and people will perceive you better. Do some yoga. Yoga is something that I'm trying to get better with. There are stretches that I just naturally performed that I didn't know were actually yoga poses, but I'm trying to make a habit of stretching every day because unfortunately for me, my stretches tend to happen on Mondays and Thursdays when I'm at the gym. I'm trying to motivate myself to do it here, but the problem with here is that my room is so fucking cluttered that I really don't have the floor space for it. I want to be safe. And I don't want to go to the gym here at my apartment because that floor is filthy. And I don't want my mat to touch that floor. I just need to get my life together here in my room or clean up the living room downstairs and have something that's spacious enough for me to do that because I'm sick of the clutter. But I'm also sick of not being able to enjoy my materials like my mat and my roller, things like that. Declutter your phone. I've been trying to declutter my phone since the year 2016. When I got my first iPhone, I remember telling myself I don't want my camera roll to have more than, I don't know, 50 pictures. Anything that I don't need to access immediately is gonna go on my invisible albums on Facebook. But no, I am 1,000 photos in my phone, and some of them are fucking duplicates. But another thing I need to declutter is my notes app because there's some stuff that I wrote in like a coded language that now I look at it and I'm like, I don't remember what the fuck this was about, man. And perhaps I need to just delete those notes and accept that I'm not going to do anything with it. What I hate about my current phone is that it took my notes app and it divided it between iCloud and notes on my phone. So now I have 2 sides of it. I have to clean up. And videos, there are some videos I still have pending from like the year 2022 that I haven't edited. And I'm like, at this point, I should just delete them or upload them. Like that one video I uploaded the other day. I remember what I was wearing, but I don't remember what title I gave it. But basically, I was talking about challenges at work. And I was wearing the blue headband and blue tie-dye shirt. I was outside. Anyway, I remember vividly when I recorded that. And I think that video was from like 2023, maybe late 2023. And it wasn't until like, wasn't it this year I uploaded that? Shit. So yeah, I do need to declutter my phone. I hate that I couldn't commit to keeping it clean when I first got it. Start a blog. I don't have a blog, but I have a vlog, which I would say replaces that in a far superior manner. But I will say that back in the year 2012, I did have a blog that I was trying to start. It was pointless, it was stupid. I knew that no one except my best friend at the time who gave me the idea of it, she told me about this website. It was called Weebly. I was just trying to create posts of my lifestyle. I got to fly somewhere that year, so I was like, okay, I flew to this place, and this is some of the plain pictures I took. These were some of the thoughts I had. And then I made this weird ass fruit salad. It was like some blueberries, strawberries, and I tried to make them look aesthetic. And I used some leaves of, I don't know if it was like spring mix or if it was spinach. Anyway, and I decorated some plate doing that. And I said, man, I'm just not that kind of female. I'm just not that kind of person who's visually crafty. And that's when I decided that I hated working with food. But that was also around the time I attempted to make my first smoothie ever, and it was an absolute utter disaster. It was so nasty. But on the plus side, it planted the seed for me to try. And I also couldn't get too frustrated with myself because I never really cared to learn about cooking or kitchen stuff. And mom always told me, she urged me to learn, but I just couldn't. Like when I say I don't like something, I don't like it, and period. And to this day, I still don't like to get on that fucking kitchen. But I will if I have to. Bake a cake. I am not the baker in this house. My boyfriend is. And last night he happened to bake something with sweet potatoes and he made a glaze for them and it had chopped pecans on the top. It was so awesome. And I said to myself, this is one of those things I'll never do. I'll never be into baking unless it's kind of like an experience for you to bond with someone, like mom and I maybe have a mutual project, or maybe him and I. But I honestly, when someone is cooking, when someone is in that kitchen and I'm not contributing, I like to get out. I like to not be there. So I think that is not something I'm going to do anytime soon. Check your email. I check it every day. What I do need to do is declutter my email because I still have messages from like the year 2009, something like that. So yeah, I should. And my goal was to take some of those emails that came from actual people and rewrite them onto my journal because I never liked the idea of those being saved online. I wanted them to be part of my personal record, like part of my personal book because I was interacting with it. But some of my emails are so freaking long that I cannot imagine a life when I have time to do all that. So I'm just going to have to accept that they'll stay on the email. Make a bucket list. I honestly don't need to do that because every single day I think about the things I would like to do. And they're fairly simple, fairly easy, and not that many of them. So I don't feel the need to actually make a list of those things. Organize a drawer. Right now, I am looking at a drawer, and that is my undergarments drawer. And I'm telling myself I should consider folding these things so that my drawer opens up a little better. Perhaps organize it by these are the work ones, these are the workout ones, and these are the more fancy ones. But It's fucking undergarments. I don't overthink it. I just don't like that sometimes, especially after I do my laundry, my drawer will be so full that it won't fucking close. That is a based idea. Cook something new. I sincerely don't have time for that. The closest thing to cooking something new I'll do is I'll find something in the frozen section that I can throw into the microwave, or I can throw into a pot, or I can throw into the air fryer and call it a day. Me personally, deciding to get, I don't know, let's say a new kind of fish and trying it out and cooking it and looking up recipes online and trying to recreate that at home to try, nah, not doing that. I would rather go out somewhere like that authentic Italian restaurants I be crying to you guys about. I would rather do that rather than me cooking something new. I will eat somewhere new before I try cooking something new. Redecorate your room. I would like to do that. I kind of want to go back to having the 1000 pictures on my walls like I used to, but this place currently doesn't inspire me. And what's sad is that this is the exact same floor plan as my old apartment, but I just have more junk in here that would really not facilitate that. But I think about it every day. I'm like, Ming, I really would like to put some pictures here, but some of the things I have cover the walls to where I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna put it? And I also don't spend a lot of time in my room like that. I don't even have access to the bed because there's so much stuff on top of it. So clean your makeup brushes. Bitch, you cannot clean makeup brushes when you don't have them. So I get to avoid that. Declutter your makeup. Bitch, can't declutter makeup if you don't have it. Learn a new skill. This one is a little bit tricky for me because sometimes I think about skills and how everything you do is potentially a skill. But when it comes to my life, I really don't think there's anything I need to learn. But what I do need to review is how to change a tire, because I've always wanted to be confident about that in case something happens, in case of an emergency. But outside of that, if I wanted to learn something immediately, quickly, very bad, I would probably want to learn how to properly wax a car, how to properly detail it, pull things apart, deep clean it, detail it, all those little things. I would be willing to learn that because all I do is soap, water, and use 3 different kinds of towels. One is yellow for the upper body, one is orange for the dirtier undercarriage and the, what is it? Rims. And by undercarriage, I mean the edge of the door on the bottom, pretty much the side skirt area. Because I look at it as this is the place that gets muddy. Why would I use the same towel as the towel I use on the upper part? And then the blue one is for glass and mirrors. And that's about it. I don't even use any cleaning agents on those. It's after I'm done rinsing, after washing, I take that towel and I wipe the glass with that. It's not like I'm using a glass cleaner. So yeah, those little things. I never learned that because I didn't have a father. I didn't have a brother who was really into that kind of shit. So I didn't pick up on that skill. Try a new makeup look. I hate makeup. I think it's pointless. I think it's bad for your skin. And I don't like the sensation of it anyway. So create new outfits. That one, I have my seasons. I had this extreme season in 2017 when I was just going for the plaid look. I loved button downs. Now I've been trying to sell them. And I've been indulging in my true self, which is t-shirt and leggings. Oversized t-shirts and leggings. As long as I have leggings, I don't care what my upper body looks like. Hoodies with thumb holes, those are also what I favor the most. Just t-shirts. I'm a t-shirt person and I'm never gonna change. The blouses I have, sometimes I think I should just go ahead and list them. I'm not going to have special occasions. I'm not going to be going out. I never go anywhere formal. Why am I holding on to that? I would really like to see my closet more freed up. And with dresses, I've been trying to wear things under the dresses and use the dresses as overalls. But again, It's just not me. I have to be in the mood for it. I'm not going to try to force it. And sometimes at work, I see, especially people who work at banks, they be wearing those blazers and the blouses and the dress pants. And I'm like, thank God I don't have to worry about that. I'm so glad that's not my dress code. Jeans, I may only wear them like once a week if I don't have leggings that I can get away with wearing at work or something like that. Sweatpants used to be my teenage go to item, but now it's like I discovered leggings. I bought 2 leggings yesterday for the first time in forever. I'm gonna review them. I'm excited. I remember years ago I had my eyes on them. I happened to see them at a good price, like they had a good deal going on, and I said to myself, I deserve something nice. And leggings are always going to be important to me, so I got them, and that's it. But yeah, I don't need to be exploring with clothes too much. Clothes simply do not do anything for me. Organize your photos. That is based because I mean, I have so many albums of digital photos that I really should categorize them. At least I have them categorized as me, outings, and other people. But I mean, there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands, and they're just out of order. I know where everything is at because I remember when I uploaded it. If it was a long time ago, then it'll be closer to the top of the page. If it was more recent, it'll be closer to the bottom of the page. That's about it. But it's just hard to feel like using organizational tools on your phone because it's just tedious. I don't like that. Start a YouTube channel. 9 years too late. Actually, my original channel goes back to the year 2006. I forgot the email for it. I forgot the password for it. And after that, I started another one in the year 2009. It had to be 2009. That was a legacy account that I forgot the password for, and then I could never log into it again because YouTube doesn't just let you do forgot password reset because it's part of Google now. Despite me having access to my email associated with that account, it doesn't let me reset it. And what's sad is that channel has millions of views, but it's not featuring me. It was featuring content from other things, like other shows. It was pretty much my collection of things that I recorded way back in those good old days. I thought, I'm running out of space on my scan disk. I don't have a like a VHS recorder that I can plug to my DVD recorder, that I can plug to my computer to somehow take what I had recorded. Basically, me owning shows. Like when I went to school, if I was missing out on a show, I would have my TV on and VHS recorder on so that it would record. And by the time I came back, I could watch whatever I wanted to watch. But then I got my DVD recorder and I wanted to take those tapes and turn them into CDs because my computer doesn't read VHS, it reads CDs. And I was always afraid that VHS tapes die faster on me than CDs did. But I never thought about the future looking like this. So I created that YouTube channel in an effort to upload shows into a digital version so that I don't have to keep the physical material, the physical media of it. I didn't want to keep the CD, I didn't want to keep the VHS, but I wanted to be able to overwrite whatever I recorded on a CD, or if it let me, I don't think you could do that on CDs, or record over the VHS, which I know you could do. I accidentally messed up a movie I recorded way back in the day doing that. So of course that YouTube channel eventually ended up becoming monetizable, but I never monetized it because I mean it's fucking copyright material. And once in a while I'll get an email notification talking about how whatever group, media, something, something has ownership of that. I think they issued one strike on that channel a long time ago, but it's still alive, it's still there. But I hate that I can't access that channel because now I would probably wipe out everything that's there or privatize all the videos. And I would probably just have that as a secondary channel to upload whatever trash cannot make it to this channel. Like if I see cloud formations that I want to record because they look cool, sure, I'll upload them to that. But I really, really detest the thought of having to monitor another channel. So yeah, you guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will come back to this. I'll do a part 2 to it. I just don't have time right now. And as you can see from all the spit that keeps shooting out from my mouth, I need more water. But yeah, I'm going to do the right side of this page another time. I'm gonna screenshot it, and then that way I'll remember that's what I have to do. So yeah, that's it. Leave me your thoughts. Bye.